right, man, let's talk about Detroit Lions possibly drafting Texas receiver Xavier Worthy, I believe the name is. I believe he only 165 pounds, but he ran a 4.21. Pretty good receiver, fixed some drops he had in the past, got some return ability. Will make the Lions offense that much more explosive. When you get somebody that fast, you know, the question is the durability, that small is the question, is the durability. And then when you get somebody that fast, does it translate to football speed? And he translates to football speed, but the question is, even though the NFL is not as physical as it used to be, how will he hold up? And then you gotta ask, you know, they got so many guys that they gotta design plays to get free. I mean, how would he fit at this point? Because what I mean by, you know, Jameson Williams haven't mastered how to get off press coverage, you know, so they got to, you know, put him in positions to get a free release and some motion, bunch him up. You know, St. Brown is a guy, you know, who goes on the inside, and it's a little bit harder to jam on the inside, so he's more of a slot guy. You know, he can do some things on the outside, but, you know, they don't have a guy they can pull out wide at X and say, well, beat man coverage, beat press coverage, beat press zone, or, you know, whatever. Beat your guy down the field, and I think that's kind of what they're missing, you know. And, you know, the whole progression with, you know, Jameson Williams is just to the point where, you know, he's a lighter variety guy, you know, and, you know, you had two speedster, but, you know, how do you get them free releases? If you got a design for all three of your top three receivers to get free releases, that's a lot on Ben Johnson. And that's why I was saying, that's why everybody was so attracted to bringing Mike Evans here, or, you know, I was talking about bringing DJ Shark back. It's somebody, you know, on the outside that can win, that can beat press man. Marvin Harrison, you know, Terrell Owens, Randy Moss, some, you know. That's why I was an advocate for them bringing in DeAndre Hopkins last year. I mean, you know, he still got it. I knew he still had it. He's a technician. He's a master of his craft. So I didn't really understand he wanted to be here. Go get him. Didn't understand that, but, you know, that's the thing about Xavier Worthy. I mean, had they said, well, we got a guy, let's say they got Garrett Wilson. Let's say they drafted him. That's who they tried to move up for. They got Garrett Wilson, and he can dominate on the outside as he has in New York with the Jets. And then we slot, you know, then I think you can get away with it. Then you can get away with it. But they don't have a guy on the outside to say, well, I can beat you. I can beat your man coverage. They don't have a guy like that. I can beat press coverage. And that's kind of the problem. Even when you look at a guy like Brian Thomas from LSU, a little bit thinner frame guy, you know, how is he going to get off man press or press zone or press coverage? And you know, he's 6'4", lighter variety, but how do we get him to get that separation, you know, off of press? So that's the $1 million question. You know, that's the $1 million question. So, with Xavier Worthy, and if Ben Johnson said we could figure it out, this, that, and the third, then hey, it is what it is. But you need somebody who gonna win on the outside, and that's something that the Lions, they lost with Josh Reynolds. That's what they don't got. So with Xavier Worthy, would they be dangerous? Absolutely. The play action would be nasty work between J-Mo and Xavier Worthy, and St. Brown and Laporta. St. Brown and Laporta be your possession guys. Worthy and J-Mo be the guys that take you to church. You know, and Worthy give you some things in kick return, but at 165 pounds, how much can he hold up is the question. A lot of them guys that run that fast, like John Ross and them, they have hamstring issues. So don't forget it. They got hamstring issues. So that's just how, you know, at the end of the day, you know, if it's worth it, it's worth it. But I think at this point, you know, it sounds good for Madden. It sounds good in theory. But if you had that receiver that can win on the outside, and Jameson Williams can win outside the hashes one-on-one, I mean, you can pretty much do what you want to do. And then also, they probably want to get a receiver of the variety that's a little bit taller, too, that can win those 50-50 balls, that can win those jump balls and stuff like that. So, that's what they lost in Josh Reynolds and DJ Shark, two taller receivers that can go up there and high point it. I mean, I know you guys say Laporta and Brock Wright, You know, obviously the taller variety, but I think if the, like I said before, if they had that receiver that can dominate on, who can dominate on the outside, I think that's just what they're missing. So they got to find that guy. If it's Xavier Legette, if it's another receiver, if it's Brian Thomas, and do they got to be a finished product right now? I would say no. We feel like you can build them to the point where they can beat press coverage. And then they also were saying about Xavier Worthy how Quinn Ayers wasn't successful at throwing the deep ball last year. So, then you're going to have people saying, well, can Jared Goff get him the football? That's the question. Can Jared Goff get him the football? Can Jared Goff get him the football? So, that's going to be a question because he had issues getting online with Jameson Williams. And, so can he get the ball out there to him is the question. And I think, he got the ball to Brandon Cooks from what he can remember, but a lot of that ran through play action with Todd Gurley and stuff. But, there's other ways to give him the football. But they would have an explosive receiving core. My issue would be, how can we win on the outside? That'd just be my issue. Who's going to win on the outside? When they go tight press coverage, man to man, who's going to win on the outside? That's the question. And the running game can cover up a lot of that shit. If they peek in the backfield, hey, Worthy, J-Mo gone. So, but I think they're probably looking for somebody the variety that's going to jump up there and get them 50-50 balls. And they don't have to be 6'4", 6'5", 6'3". A lot of guys play bigger, no Diddy, pause, than they are. So, just want to get somebody aggressive. You know what I'm saying? So, if they get Worthy, hey man, shout out to them. I see him going anywhere late 15 to the bottom of the first round. If he number one on your board, you Ben Johnson gonna figure some things out. So, but one thing I kind of like about that Xavier Legette guy, a lot of potential, but just the brute, how he built, like a 4'3" guy, 220, 6'1". He built like Anquan Bolden. He built like a physical monster. But it's a lot of polish to go there with that. But, like I said before, it's different strokes for different folks to get the job done. And it's deeper, deeper than that. What's his work ethic at? Where this, that, and the third at? So, we'll see, man. But Xavier Worthy be interesting with him and J-Mo. They definitely have one of the most explosive offense. Even though Brian Thomas and or Xavier Legette, they probably had the most explosive offense in the league, bro. Between, St. Brown, J-Mo, and let's say Xavier Worthy or Brian Thomas or from LSU or from a kid like Xavier Legette. Oh, they offense explosive with Jameer in the back. They got gas to burn. But hey, check out Detroit Lions Talk playlist. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. The subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance of notifications. We go live drop video. Peace.